In this example, we're going to show you how to connect to a database and pull data and uh, display that in a report. We're going to build a report and then also run that report and also how show you how to export that report into other formats. So let me go ahead and sign into Flowrite. Once you log in, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a connection defined. So if I go into integration and if I go into connections, you will see I have a bunch of connections defined. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my dev2db connection and let's make sure it's working. So I can go ahead and click test and that will tell me that the connection is valid. And we can also go into utils and look at DB details. And this will give us a list of tables and the structure of those tables. If you look in this list of tables, you will see that we have a table called customer data. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull data from this table and display that in a report and run the report, and also will export that report out to different formats. So let's go ahead and start building a report. So I'm going to go over to my analytics and go to reports, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new report called customer data. By default, you will see that you're not going to see the header row here. What you can do is you can go to view and say header, and you can also adjust the area over here, how much you want to display. Um, First thing we'll do is we'll go and create the connection to the database. So I'm going to click on data over here, and then I'm going to say new data, and we have various options for connections. I'm going to use the OLADB because our connection strings are OLADB format. So I'm going to go back to one of my old tabs and let's go to dev2db, and I'm going to grab the connection string from here. So let's do edit, and I'm going to just copy this connection string, and I will go to my this particular report and put the connection string over here. And here authentication, you can say no because we have already provided authentication info within this particular connection string. So I'm going to go ahead and say connect, and this is going to give you a data designer over here. And in this case, what we'll do is we'll just we'll write a little SQL query. So I'm going to say select star from customer data. And I can also click this button to run and bring back data and show you. So you can see my SQL query is working, and it brought some data back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this data and build a report. So you can go ahead and click finish, and you can now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a table because we want to display a table of data. So in this case, I'm going to drag a table control. All right, and let me make that a little bit bigger here. And on this table control, the first row is going to be the headers, and the second row is going to be the data from our table, um, data coming from our database. So if you click on each of these columns, you can actually select which column to display from the data. So let's say we want to show a name on the first one, and on the second one we want to show state, and on the third column we want to show active. Okay. And over here, um, we can also put some column headers. So in this case, I'm going to say add text, and I'm going to put customer name, and I'm going to say add text here. I'm going to put state, and I'm going to put another text here and say status. And we can also select these guys and come over here to appearance or to basic settings and change to, let's say, bold. So now we have bold, and I'm going to, since we don't have a header here, I'm just going to move these guys up a bit and tighten this. So this is all you have to do. Now we can go ahead and save the button. Always save your work. And we can actually say preview. That should bring back the data and show us. So as you can see, we can see the data from our table. You can also put graphics and things like that into this table and make it prettier and all that. So let's go ahead and save this and exit out. So you can see now I have my report definition called customer data. You can always run this right from here. So you can say view run report, and that will generate the report for you. You can also export this report to various different formats. You can print it. You can send it to so if I go into if I go to export, you will see I have various different options. I can export this as a PDF or Excel. So let's do Excel first. So if I click on this, you will see it will download an Excel file for me, and I can just open that and I can see the data over here. I can also open this as a PDF. So let's export this to a PDF. And you can see I have a PDF here. So various options are available for you to export the report as, and you can report it out, and you can have these formats available to your users. You can have Word, HTML, PowerPoint, CSV, and these are the options you have within the report. But you can also have this report generated automatically within a workflow, and maybe send this report out, the output of the report. Let me go into one of my workflows here. In this particular workflow, you can see I have the run report step. In this case, I have selected run report, and I have also selected, I can also select a report definition, let's say customer data, and I can say which format I want. I want in Excel. And the generated report path is going to be this particular variable will hold the generated report path, and that's it. That's all you have to provide. You can also provide parameters if you have report parameters, but otherwise save these settings. And now if you create an instance of this workflow and run it, it will generate the report for you. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and save my report generation workflow, and I'm going to create an instance. So let's generate a name. Let me call it report generate instance. Let's say create, So if I go back to my workflow instances or process instances, you will see that we have a new instance, and you can see generate report instance ran. And if I look at the particular step, let's go to the run report step. And if I look at the properties, you can see that the report was generated into this particular folder that is under the Flowrite dark report reports directory with a XLS file extension, since we asked the report to be generated in Excel. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to create a report and pull data. You can pull data from different data sources also. Thank you.